Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Wednesday. So, we're always here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. I'm Tara Leader from California Cover Ups. I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's on the road, and we're the Biz Chicks. So sit back, relax. Let's talk money today because we're here with our money mindset coach, Coach Karen Fern. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Every Wednesday I come and talk to you guys about money. Yes,
Yes,
listen.
indeed.
And
Money,
all,
money, 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 money. Whatever that goes.
and all this month we're talking money, 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 money. So this is our last Wednesday. So let me go give a little recap before I get into this week's session. We started off with understanding how much you need per year. That's the topic we did. The next topic we touched on was always be a lender, not a borrower, because it just builds you confident. It just puts you in a better state of mind. And last week we talked about how to stay afloat when you feel you can't. Because
Oh,
if you're in the state that you can, I wanted to empower you in ways to feel good wherever you are, because you could only start where you are at the moment. You can't start where you backwards, and you can't start going forward until you understand where you're standing at the moment. This week we're going to talk about building a financial abundance atmosphere, because we
mm.
want our experience, our living, everything we do is coming in abundance.
Hi,
This is so
Cecilia.
good for us.
How you doing? Cecilia's in the house.
Hi, Cecilia. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning. We want to live in sheer abundance. You want to live there, not because you have money. You want to live there before you get the money. So when the money come in, it's this added bonus. So many people are waiting to get money before they get happy, to get money before they find peace, to
Thank you.
No, you don't need to have it before. You need to have those things. So when the money come into play, it is already there. It is already there. It is your birthright to have
Oh,
peace and abundance.
yes. So what you're doing is you're building a room for the visitor of abundance. You know how you have a guest room?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
and you know how you have it all cute. Your room be toe up, but you having guests. There's new towels. There's soap. This it's smelling great. You went out got new sheets and bedding, and just to make sure that it is crisp. And yes, okay. So now we're talking about building a financial abundance atmosphere. Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
Okay.
We want to have that. I told my sister in England she had left her house and bought a new house, and she was busy trying to get the guest room ready. And I keep saying to her, "So how's the master bedroom?" She goes, "Oh, we'll get to that later." I'm like, "How's the master bedroom?" And she's like, "No." I said, "Sharon, I want you to stop right now. Put Richard on the line. Richard, because that's her husband. I said, you need to get the master bedroom ready." He goes, "I know. I was trying to tell Sharon." I said, "We agreed. The master, then the guest room. You got to look after the
Oh,
core, people."
oh my goodness, people, go to the front of your own line.
Thank you. Get that together, and you're going to have a lot of energy to do all the rest. Both of them work hard. She's a teacher, he's a computer guy, and he does handiwork. They're busy people. They're raising two wonderful kids in university and college. They have a lot of expense. I'm like, your resting place has to come first, and then you set it up for the guest after.
Yes.
You have to feel good about yourself. And you got to think about all these things for yourself. It's not selfishness. This is caring for you. Okay?
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. Isn't it isn't it reasonable
Mhm.
that the atmosphere that you wake up in sets the tone for the day?
Exactly.
So for instance, so I put my feet down on a cold floor, that the first thing that's going to happen is I'm jarred. You know what I'm saying? But if
Yep.
I put my feet down on a rug or on a mat that is warm and has some padding in it, I have a different experience.
You will. You will.
And most of the things that we do because we're looking for a specific outcome or an experience
Mhm.
that's positive.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Now, Celia says she loves this topic.
Yes, girl.
She loves your
Love
mindset.
abundance.
Mm-hmm.
I love abundance because it comes to you because you've made room for it. It
Mm-hmm.
comes to you because you've prepared yourself for it. So sometimes when I move back, I tell people this is the big picture, and then I move back, whatever. Like, Karen, you're stifling me. No, 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 no. I'm getting your mind used to it because abundance is not only the money you have in you, in your wallet. You can feel abundantly blessed and be broke as ever. Because you know that what you're working towards. So the first thing we're gonna look at, and this is a big one, some people hate it, but I must talk about it. Living below your means, but still in abundance. Being grateful for everything.
Mm.
Being grateful for everything that
Wow.
passed through you or with you. Be grateful for it. Be grateful for those lessons. Be grateful for the hardship. Be grateful for walking through, walking on top, walking below. Be grateful. They are so important. And then you realize that although your statement is living below your means, it's actually such a blessing when you live that way because you are never in the poorhouse. You are never. I hear the statement, how not to be broke again. This is how not to be broke again. Living below your means.
I love
Understanding
it.
that you can buy a fur coat for $1,000, but you can wear a $200 coat, you can wear $100 coat and still feel as abundantly blessed as ever. I have a sister, she's like 6 feet, I don't know, 4 or 5, and she could have never gotten really wonderful trench coats, and she decided to design her own. She's a sword too, and she decided to design her own. And every time she would wear those coats, even when she came here for my wedding, everybody wanted to know if they could buy her coat. She made it herself. It looked like $1 million coat because she got the best material. And she said, Karen, it cost me $75 to make. But the coat was so fabulous that I remember somebody offered her $1,000 to take it off her back because of the height and the structure, how she framed it. People thought it was an expensive coat, but she understood she couldn't spend this money. She was still in university and she made what she had. And her point was, I'm going to spend $100, but if I can get below that, I'm happy. She spent
Mhm.
75. She got her coat too. She put in the time, and
I
she
love
was still happy. She was loving the outcome. She took the time to make it out of newspaper and made it out of brown paper so that she understood the fit, so everything worked. She just took the time to get the coat she needed. And living below your means mean some adjustment. That's all it means. It's
I
not
love
the end
it.
of the world. It's just some adjustments to suit with what is needed to get you to the place you want to go to. That's it. It's not a death sentence. It's so temporary.
Living below your means. Say that again.
Living below your means, but still in abundance. Because being grateful for everything you have is part of the lesson in your abundance. It is really part of your lesson. You don't want to skip this part of the lesson, by the way. You don't. You do
Mhm.
not want to skip this part of the lesson because this part of the lesson,
I'm sharing this.
sorry, this part of the lesson is grooming you, is preparing you for. We always talk about God never give you more than you can handle. And that comes down to money too. If you can't handle the pennies, he's
Uh-huh.
not giving you the dollars.
Well, Francine says this all the time. If you, he won't give you what you want. He'll give you what you can manage.
Mhm.
And because you don't give the baby the keys to the Ferrari.
Thank you.
If your feet can't meet the pedals and they can't handle the power.
Yeah.
So that's why he says, if you're faithful over a few things, I'll make you rule over many. So in other words, you got to start bloom where you're planted. Don't, oh, and I say this all the time to our audience too, Coach, is don't despise small beginnings.
Never, never. Everybody that has a big business right now started with one customer or one client, not
I
many.
love it. I'm writing that in the chat. Everyone started with one customer. Oh my gosh.
And they build from there. They build from there. They grow from there. They understood. And plus it's so important too, because when you have a little bit, you can get to understand them. Like I'm training one of my longtime employees to be my office manager for my other company. And we're just going through a lot of work, a lot of admin work. And we're just going through yesterday, we're talking about the different type of customers we have, the different types of client, the way they need to be treated, and all this stuff. And those people are our playground. Those people teaches us something. I just was listening to Ben. Oh God, I forget his name, but anyway, he's one of those surgeon that everybody knows about, and he was talking about
Ben Carson?
yeah, Ben Carson, and he was talking about just all the different things you have to go through when you're a doctor, when you're studying certain things, and when you're going to do certain kind of operations, and how many people die along the way, and how many things happen before you get to that
Have mercy.
knowing of what you're going to do. And those are people's lives we're talking about, and they're not happy that they had to do it, but they understood that that's what's going to get them to the next place that they need to go to. And us as business people, lots of us want to have it happen overnight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very impatient. At things I still am. Want it to happen yesterday. But I understand it's not going to. And I have to be okay with it and go through the processes to get to what I really want to get to.
You know what else, Coach? Is because, and I'm so glad you're on here today, because when you're talking about this topic, it makes me realize that had he given it to me sooner, in some cases he did, and I blew it. I
Yep.
blew the money. I blew.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I
Yes.
was. I should have been. Well, I could have been a better manager had I studied more to show myself approved.
Yes. And that's all it's boiled down to, studying and understanding. I remember when I first came on this computer, I mean, I sit here and everybody who knows me or know of me will compliment me, and I would say, you guys don't understand. I would be asking my daughter, I said, how do I put on the computer? And then I had myself a class, and I still wasn't doing well with the class I took. I took the wrong class, and I got to the classroom, and I wouldn't know what the guy was talking about, or the lady or the professor was talking about. But you want to see Caren sit there in that class. When the class is finished, I get up, I tell them I don't know what's going on. And they said to me, would you like me to show you one on one? Because once you ask, people will deliver. And I can't tell you how many professor has spent time after they're finished teaching or have me come back a day or two later and just spend time showing me what I don't know because I ask. And they would say, I wish other people just ask if they don't understand what I'm teaching.
See, and as a teacher, you know that. You know, we love it when people show a real interest in learning something.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even thinking about, what it's costing us to stay overtime or to, it's just, you really want to understand this. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for me because it means I'm getting through for somebody.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a matter of sitting down and learning. And then once I learn it, now I have to come home and practice it. And I'll ask my kids, and they got annoyed with me because I wasn't catching it on as fast as they want me to. And then the day I sat down and I said, you know what, Karen, if you want it, you have to sit and learn it. And it might take you 2-3 weeks to understand how to push a button. But if you sit there, you'll push the button. And so if you give yourself 2 weeks, you'll push the button. And once I keep talking to myself, I was able to do faster and faster and faster. And it allowed me also to understand others when they're having a difficult time. I dial back and I say, okay, where are we starting at? What do I need to help you do so that you can understand a specific thing? Because obviously there's a stumbling block. You need to either breathe, go get a glass of water, and come back. And usually it opens them up. It frees them up from this tightness that they were feeling inside because they're feeling so bad that they should know it when they don't know it. Because that's what happens with humans. There's a lot of things we behave a certain way because we think we should know it.
Yeah.
And so we're embarrassed that we don't know it, rather than just saying, hey, I don't know it, just show me. It's just hard for us to do. So I understand, you know. So that's what we have to start thinking about in all this that we do. All right. So let me move right along. So number two is talking about saving here. Saving 10 to 20% of all you earn and track your spending. That's a little bit of budgetary there. But saving 10 to 20%. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, the first time I started saving 10%, it wasn't from a lot of money. It was from such a little tiny bit of money that I asked myself, Caren, are you crazy? How are you going to do this? But here was the kicker. It's because I keep asking the question. So imagine getting paid $6.68 an hour and wanting to save 10% of that. And the money you're really bringing in every month doesn't really cover all your bills, but you're still willing to save 10% of that and tithe 10% of that. And then you don't have enough to pay everything. You know what happens? Your brain go into overtime figuring out how to get it done because you've asked the question. Now it's giving you answers.
Yes, because I have found that I couldn't figure out how this was. How was I able to do these things? But it wasn't me. It's just a principle.
And it's working because now you're living in that abundant mindset.
Yes, I am.
So once you're living there, you're going to be going down that street and you're going to be finding ways to do it. And you're going to look out for ways to do it. When the first thought comes, I always tell people it's such a simple and soft whisper that you mightn't recognize it, but it repeats itself quite a few times. If you're not getting out of wherever you are, it's because you're ignoring all the messages and all the signs and all the spoken word and everything God been whispering to you, been ignoring. I came home and I thought, my question was answered. Caren, what is it you do best? And I answered the question. So why aren't you doing it? And I did it. I took it to work and I just simply give it to everybody who would taste it. I said, would you like to have a taste of it? I mean, it went like that. And I knew people loved it. I didn't ask them to buy. I simply gave them tastes. I think 3 weeks straight, I would just bring in anything that I made on the weekend and just offer it out. I mean, the second week, I had a list of people waiting to buy. Money in hand. I don't care how much it costs. Just bring me this amount because I can't handle just a slice. My baked goods. Side business immediately. Customers in hand. I guarantee at least 12 to 15 people to buy every weekend. Pay it on Friday, collect it on Monday. Or the ones who want it for the weekend, pay it on Thursday. I brought it back on Friday. They have it for the weekend. And so I get to complement my income. And then, of course, once that happened, I got another opportunity and then another opportunity because once people see you're doing, they want to actually help you. A friend of mine says, Caren, I can help get you a part-time job as a waitress, at least 1 day a week. Would you want that? I'm like, yeah.
It is so true. It is. Or people don't even, let's say you're selling cookies. People don't even eat cookies. They'll buy the cookies, give them to their grandkids, or give them to someone who likes cookies because they want to help you.
Yes.
People see you making an effort and applying your hand. They
just want to help you. They just want to help you. They just want to get by. People started looking out for me. This guy said to me, says, Caren, if you want to get things wholesale, I know where you can get them wholesale. You don't no longer have to buy them. I said, okay, let me gather some cash. I got to work the Tuesday. He said, I brought you some things. I'm going to have to give you a ride home because it's big. When he showed me, I nearly floored. I didn't realize the guy worked at Robin Hood, the floor, but in the office. And he was the director of some whatever. I mean, the guy stalked me out. I was like, how much do I owe you? He said, no, I just want to sow into your business.
And how many of us have things in our garage that could help other people with their businesses? Because we're no longer using it. I have a heat press here for doing T-shirts. I hardly use it. There's someone out there, you just need to let people know what you're doing so that they can be a blessing to you.
Yes. And when you have an abundant thinking and mentality, you're just so freer. Telling people is not anymore a burden, or there's none of that happening in your mind because you've let go of those things. You free yourself from those chains, and your thought process is totally different. And now you are open and you're allowing, you're allowing your gift to shine, to work. All this wonderful thing God put inside of us. Well, He was making us up.
Yes. Yes.
Go use them. Go use them. And you see how living below your means now is not such a big thing because you're doing so much other wonderful things. You can't believe how good you feel. This is a good feeling, I tell you. So any bad stuff happening because life throws us curveball. Any of those things that start happening to you, you can balance it out. You understand? You're gonna feel that way, but you don't have to stay there too long because this other wonderfulness is happening. So you don't have to stay there too long. My sister had said to me the other day, she says, Kai, I don't want to say this to you, but you don't want to show any weakness. I can't remember what the conversation was. I was like, but it's not that. It's like this thing has happened. I've experienced it. I've muddled myself through it. So I don't stay there. And this is from learning. I learned how to not stay in a bad situation continuously. It happened to me. I was sad. Maybe I cried about it. I write it out. Now I'm moving on. Not because I feel deeply. I just don't stay in that, oh, pity me, oh me.
Mhm.
I don't because I don't need to anymore. I'm now waiting for somebody to come and rescue me.
This is so important because during the course of our lives and our businesses, we all have crises that we face,
Yes.
and or challenges, if you will,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call them. And we have to have the mindset to get back up.
Yes.
He has more.
Yep.
More where that my mother used to say, there's more where that came from.
Yes. And
There's-
you have to get back up. Now, if somebody's not seeing it as that, this is not about you being strong or you don't want people to see your weakness. No, no, no. You know that staying there too long is not good for you. So you're not staying there too long. You feel
Right.
everything. You just don't
Don't
have
camp
to.
out.
Yeah. It doesn't get you anywhere. Unless you get up and get. I tell people, I said, at one point in my life, I had such a bad thing that happened to me. I think it took me a whole year. And in that year, the only reason I was able to get it back is because I got it back. Because if I never got it back, I just wouldn't get it back. Like you have to physically do it.
Now, you said something earlier. You said track your earnings.
Hmm.
I think this is so important because a lot of times we feel like we are not earning money in our business, and that's not true.
Not true. You'll be surprised, and I know I'd surprise myself with some bookkeeping.
I was really shocked, but
Mhm.
it was because I hadn't been writing it down,
Yeah.
and I think that habit comes from having more month than money
Hmm.
in your personal life,
Hmm.
and so when you go into business, you don't want to track it either because you're thinking it's the same.
And because of the fear is
Exactly.
is that fear. So when you're not living in the abundant, you live in that fear mentality. You live in that mentality of I don't have enough when it's not true. And if you don't have
Morning,
enough,
Jerry.
good morning, Jerry. And if you don't have enough, then again you get to ask these questions so that you can have enough and then up and above. If you don't have enough, I always go back to and I like to refer to the YouTube people. I know I don't know everybody, but I like to refer to the YouTube people. They're creating content with the understanding, yeah, that they could make money, but there's no guarantee that they're going to make money. So everything they do is because they better love doing it to continue doing it to get to the money because it
Mhm.
ain't happening right away. So you have to understand this stuff. You got to sit there and do it. And for me, when I come online, beside learning the computer, I had said to myself, how do I get myself onto video and get comfortable? And I set a 30-day pace. I set myself 30-day, 5 minutes every day. I would sit with my little tiny phone at the time. I didn't even have, I had a laptop. No, I had a regular computer. So a tiny phone, and I would record myself for 5 minutes every day. Just every day, and I load it up. Every day, and I loaded up five for 30 days straight. And nobody watched it. I never see anybody watched it, but I still loaded up every day. And then one day I had a couple missing, and somebody said to me, Karen, where is tape 2 and 3? And I was like, you listen to me. She goes, every day. I get up, I know you're gonna be on, and I just feel better when I hear you. And then a couple of other people said to me, I'm missing, I think it's 21. I was like, People are listening to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know something? I am so, I just want to encourage people. Remember how we got up every day and went into the employer? We went every day and we did the same task or whatever our responsibilities were. Um, but we showed up. I encourage you to show up in your business.
Every day.
Show up in your business finances. In other words, track them.
Yes.
Face that thing every day.
Every day. Every
And
day. Track it. Track your spending so you can actually know how much to spend. You know, you can be right there. Case in point, you're in a grocery store and something is on sale. And you're like, I should get it because it's on sale. But it wasn't on your budget. It wasn't on
Mm,
your food list, and you got it. Now, if it's important to get, you get it. What is your job? Your job is to, and I'm going to tell you your job. You should have been saving some monies for
ah,
sales item. This is how I shop, okay? So I know my grocery, how often the sale come around. I can tell you toilet paper is every 2 weeks, and I have a sale on it. You know, I can tell you a lot of things because I keep track. And so
mhm.
I'm able to tell, I used to be able to tell my other clients, I'm like, look out for this. And a couple of them told me, Karen, I didn't believe you. But I finally tracked it. I was like, the girl got some sense. Because this is older people, right?
Yeah.
And she said, the girl got some sense. I said, yes. I said, if you want to have money and you don't want to always feel broke, I want the first thing I let her do. I said, take out an account and a separate bank and put $50 every month. At the end of the year, you're going to have $600. You need to have a budget beside your regular budget for sale items. So that when you go to the grocery store, let's say you got a $40 and you see something on sale, the only amount you can spend is anything below $40 because you still have to pay taxes. And you keep saving that money. So every time there's a sale, you're not going into your standard budget monies and you're not overspending by thinking you can take it on your card because you didn't really get a sale because it costs you no interest because I'm sure you're not paying it on time. And so I went through the whole, and she allowed me. She's like, she's my hair client, but at the time she's like, Karen, I'm open. Please show me what to do. She was open. So we went through her finances. She had a stable account. She's on disability, but
Mhm.
we still found money. We still found money to put aside. We still allow her to be, she loves sales, fine sales, but we had the financial capacity now to do the sales. We sat down. I spent 2 Saturdays with her getting everything streamlined that she could live independently, not call her brother or her mom to help because she really was living with what she has within her means and then below it to get to where she needs to get. And this is possible for anybody. I don't care how dire your situation looks. Once you start looking at the money, tracking the money, and how you spend the money,
Mhm.
and you become the boss of the money, not the other way around. So many times people have allowed money to be the boss of them, but they
Mhm.
need to be the boss of their money. They're the head hunter. They're in charge of things. So you don't have a job and you're going to get a job. You decide what job you want. You decide how much you want to be paid. And those are the only jobs you're looking at. The ones that's going to pay you the money you ask for. And when you get it, you got a plan. So when it come in, you know what to do. You don't pretend that you're getting all of it. You know that is gross and you need to just spend the net,
Wow.
period.
Wow. Well, let's recap. You said spin the net.
Spend the net. If you don't have a job at the moment,
And then you're
you
only
live,
spending 80% of the net, right?
yeah, and you're living your abundant life and you're planning towards money, you plan, and I want to have a true budget. This is the other thing, a true budget, meaning I want you to write down every single thing that you know you need to buy per month. And then you divide it up 2 weeks, if your paycheck is going to be by 2 weeks. And you're going to really concentrate on the net part of your income. And out of that net income, you're putting 10 for tithes, you're putting 10% for savings until you can get to the 20%. When my last job, me and my girlfriend, I had us on such a strict budget, we were saving half of our salary. When we first decided to do it, she screamed. She says, Karen, you're crazy. I said, we're doing it.
Wow.
And you can get there too. It just takes a while if you're not sure or you just never done it. So that's why I like to say the 10%. And then you move up to 20. But then you live to a certain way in a loving standard. That doesn't mean you live Terrible. It just means you track things. That's what it means. You track things.
Mm.
I'm not even going to get into number three because we're at the point where we're done.
I know, I know.
Number two, these two were two big ones. I know they were big ones that I was
Really
going
good.
to talk about. But I'm here if you went to. So we're going to continue this journey talking about a lot of other just exciting things that is going to make you see that money. I want money to be, this is my journey in life, I feel. I want money to be this thing that we could talk about openly in all different aspects of it, and it mustn't be taboo anymore. It has to be this subject where it's exciting and fun and rewarding and wonderful. You want to have the conversation because you know where you want to go. That's what I want money to be for everybody.
Sounds like a plan. Guys, we want to thank you so much for tuning in today. Jerry and Cecilia and all of
Thank
those
you, guys.
watching on Periscope and and over here on, what is this other one? I'm trying to think. YouTube.
YouTube.
It just escaped me altogether. YouTube. We want to thank you guys. And Coach Caren, we love you. You always have such practical advice. Get that budget, or as Terry says, a happiness plan together. And it's okay to get your nails done, to take
Exactly.
care of yourself, because
Yes.
those are the things that keep you focused, so that you're not distracted and thinking that you are in money jail.
Exactly.
It's not money jail, people. It is a happiness plan.
It's a happiness plan. Add your nail appointment in there. Add your pedicures in there. Add your massage in there.
Exactly. Let's see what Cecilia says. That was awesome. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Cecilia. We're not trying to send you to money jail. We're trying to send you to freedom land with your happiness plan. So with that, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Coach, we love you. If you're looking for Coach Caren on the web, you can find her at Profits in Daily. Coach Caren Fern, your money mindset coach. She's got the Money Mindset Academy coming, guys. You better pay attention and join that private group so that you can get even more nuggets from Coach Caren. We love you, Coach, and we really enjoy you. We want to thank everybody, and we want to remind you that tomorrow is Thursday. We'll be doing Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. Friday, we'll be talking tech and English for business. And we want to remind you to go to the front of your own line.
For sure.
Tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks again, Coach.
You're welcome.